In the sweltering heart of the Amazon, where the air is thick with moisture and the scent of unknown flowers, and sunlight barely pierces the dense green canopy, stand the stilt homes of the Bari people. There's no asphalt here, no stores, no familiar hustle and bustle. There is only the endless jungle and a people whose lives are governed by a different set of rules. The laws of survival, interdependence, and a deep, unspoken trust. A woman stands at the entrance of her hut. Beside her are not one, but several men. They don't eye each other with jealousy or suspicion. They are calm, focused. There's no rivalry in their eyes, only readiness. A readiness to contribute. Because here, in the kingdom of the boundless jungle, things are just different. Intimacy, kinship, care, none of it is measured by our usual yardstick. While our world builds relationships on the idea of exclusive fidelity and biological monopoly, tribes like the Bari and their neighbors the Canela or the Matsigenka live by a different code. Survival dictates its own terms, and they touch upon the most intimate of matters: who gives life and who cares for it. Here, a concept that sounds almost unbelievable to us reigns supreme: partible paternity, the idea of multiple fathers. They believe a fetus is formed not from a single seed, but from the cumulative contributions of several men. That each sexual act during a certain period adds a measure of strength, health, and luck to the future person. The more contributions, the stronger, healthier, and luckier the child will be. This isn't mysticism for its own sake. It's a calculated survival strategy, developed over generations in an environment where any support is critical. This isn't chaos or promiscuity. It's a system in which a woman isn't a passive vessel, but a strategist. She chooses, weighing the qualities of the men. One is a great hunter, another a skilled craftsman, a third generous and kind. She weaves these traits together, inviting the men to invest their strength into a shared future, a future for the community, embodied in a new person. In our world, we're accustomed to jealousy, to the concept of cheating. Here, it simply doesn't exist. The men know about each other and accept it. They see other men not as rivals for a woman's affection, but as co-authors of a future that requires their collective strength. It's not a fight for possession, but a collaboration for continuation. On the banks of the great rivers, they don't ask, "Are you my one and only?" They ask, "Are you willing to share your strength?" Fatherhood here isn't defined by the moment of conception, but by participation. Any man who has been intimate with the woman during the formation of the child becomes a father. He acknowledges this bond, and the community acknowledges it too. For him, it's not a burden, but an honor, a chance to contribute to the tribe's very fabric of life. It's a world where a woman holds a degree of freedom and power over her own body and her community's future that is almost unheard of for us. No one can forbid her this choice. It is her right and her great responsibility. Her body is not property. Her body is the soil into which the seeds of the future are planted, and she chooses the strongest, most diverse seeds. And woe to the man who tries to shirk his role. A man who rejects the shared child loses everything: respect, his place in the community, his honor. They aren't looking for an easy life. They're looking for responsibility. and the one who avoids it effectively banishes himself from the circle of trust and support. On the banks of the great rivers, they don't ask, "Whose child is this?" They ask, "Who is willing to feed it?" Why is this possible? Why don't the men fight for exclusive sexual rights? Because here, in the impassable jungle, where every day is a test, survival leaves no room for personal ambitions that are not tied to the well-being of the entire group. Life in the Amazon is not easy. Dangers lurk around every corner: disease, predators, starvation. A single man might not return from a hunt. One might fall ill and be unable to provide food. But 5 men? The odds that one of them will always be around, that someone will bring food, that someone will protect the family, increase dramatically. This isn't about emotion, it's about reliability. It's insurance. It's the survival of the next generation. Every recognized father feels his responsibility. He didn't just pass through, he invested in what was to come. And so, he is obligated to care for it, to bring food, build shelter, and protect those he has recognized as his own. Imagine, one brings back game from the hunt, another brings fruit, a third brings materials for the hut. One protects with strength, another guides with wisdom, sharing knowledge of herbs or hunting. The child, once born, gets the best from many. It doesn't depend on a single pillar that might collapse. It leans on an entire grove. In our world, a single provider is the norm. Here, it's a gamble, an unjustifiable risk when nature makes the rules. On the banks of the great rivers, they don't ask, "Who do you belong to?" They ask, "Who is ready to feed you?" The concept of cheating, as we know it, doesn't exist here. There is only the concept of contribution. A woman isn't betraying one man by choosing another. She is gathering strength for the future. Like a master weaver, she braids threads from the qualities of different men to create a strong, durable fabric of life. This isn't breaking the rules, it's fulfilling a duty. It's not a personal drama, it's a social strategy born of the need to survive. A woman here is no one's property. She is the master of her own body and the future of her community. Her choice is decisive. Her ability to assess contributors is the foundation of prosperity. No one dares to dictate to her. For this, she is respected. She is the center of a complex but resilient system. And just as the system protects, it also punishes, not physically, but socially. A man who knows of his contribution but shirks his responsibility becomes a social outcast. He is ignored, avoided. He loses the support that, in the jungle, is a death sentence. Rejecting fatherhood is the ultimate disgrace. It is a rejection of the very essence of belonging to the tribe. On the banks of the great rivers, they don't ask, "Did you love her?" They ask, "Will you help feed the one who is to come?" There's no room for romantic ideals as we understand them. There are no vows of eternal fidelity to one person. There is a vow of eternal support to many. Family here isn't about the blood ties to a single man, but a complex, resilient network of relationships created by a woman to ensure her offspring's security. This is social parenting, often stronger than biological ties. What's it like? Think of the tangled vines and roots of the jungle. Separately, each is weak, easily broken. but together they form a living wall, protecting the fragile life within the green labyrinth. Watching them, you realize our model of the family is just one of many possibilities. And maybe in their otherness, there's a profound lesson for us, that family isn't just about biology and ownership. It is, above all, about responsibility, collective support, and the willingness to share our strength for the sake of those who come after us. In the Amazon, this knowledge is woven into the very fabric of nature, into every vine, and into every shared glance of the fathers at the children they all claim as their own.